to Leap into Science Wind from the Plainfield Guilford Township Public Library. Leap into Science is a nationwide collaboration between lots of cultural organizations, museums, libraries, and the Franklin Institute in Philadelphia, who have developed the Leap into Science curriculum. What is wind? Today I want you to think like a scientist. Think of the observations that you can make in the world that provide evidence that wind is all around us. Let's think about that for a second. How do we know wind exists? Maybe you thought, I can feel wind on my skin when I walk outside. I can hear it blowing at night when there's a storm. Maybe you can see it move the leaves on the trees. Maybe you can feel wind pushing back against you when you ride your bicycle down the street. All of those observations are evidence that wind is all around us. Here's an activity you can try at home that makes you a scientist. You're going to make a prediction and then do the experiment and observe what happens, just like a scientist would do. All you need is some objects that you find around your house and a squirt bottle of some kind, or a fan, or you could even blow with your mouth if you think that that is strong enough. Let's start with a feather. Do you think that the wind that I make from this bottle will move this feather? Let's make a prediction. I predict that yes, I think it will move. Now let's observe and see what happens. Ooh, it certainly moved, didn't it? Moved really fast. So the feather moves with the wind. Let's try something else. A wooden block. What do you predict? Will the wind move this wooden block? Let's see. No, the wind isn't moving it. Maybe I need to squeeze harder? Nope. So the wind will not move my block. Let's try something else. How about this pom-pom? Do you predict that the wind will or will not move the pom-pom? Well, let's see. Oh, yep, it moves it. And let's try one more. This is another block, but you can see it's a different shape. I'm going to set it like this. Do you predict that the wind will move this block? Okay, let's see. It did move it. Now, why do you think that happened? It may be because it's not flat on the bottom. It wants to rock. It's not really in as much contact with the table, and so the air can get under there and push it along. So this one did move. I encourage you to try this at home. It's a little easy science experiment that makes you a scientist. So now we know that wind is all around us. But did you know that it comes in different intensities? Sometimes it's a very gentle breeze that you can barely feel or see. And sometimes it could be as strong as a hurricane or a tornado. So wind comes in different levels. Scientists have actually created a way to measure those levels that's called the Beaufort scale. Now, low down on the Beaufort scale is the intensity of wind that would be called a breeze. Higher up would be a gale. I can demonstrate the difference between a breeze and a gale with my very handy demonstration device, also called a pinwheel. So what do you think a breeze will look like? And what do you think a gale might look like? Let's try it out. This would be a breeze. Very gentle. But a gale would look more like this. Can you see the difference? I want to share with you two books that we have here at the library that go along with this topic of wind and really let you think about what's happening in the story and make some predictions about what will come next. The first is called Kate, Who Tamed the Wind, and is written by Liz Garton Scanlon and Lee White. In this book, Kate is the main character, and she observes that the neighbor at the top of a hill is having a big problem with the wind that blows around his house. And Kate has to think about what would be a good solution. So she sort of comes up with a plan, and she tries it out, and you can read along to see whether or not what she observes and predicts and eventually invents help to tame the wind. The next book is called The Wind Blew and is written by Pat Hutchins. And this is a really great story where the wind just keeps blowing and blowing and grabbing different things from the people as they walk through town. And there's a surprise ending in this one. But this is a wonderful story to think about. Is the wind a gale or is it a breeze? What level of wind are we talking about in this story? I hope you'll check one of these books out from the Plainfield-Guilford Township Public Library. So now we've talked a little bit about wind. We've learned about a breeze and a gale. We've learned that wind is all around us. We've seen a couple of books that you might want to read to hear more about the wind. But now I want you to be a scientist, an inventor. I want you to come up with something called a wind detector. What could you create that would show you that there was wind, that would show you if there's a breeze or a gale? You could use anything you can think of. Maybe you'll attach something to a stick, maybe you'll tie something to a string. It really doesn't matter. The sky is the limit. I looked around here in the library and I found a craft stick, popsicle stick, I found some streamer and some ribbon and some tissue paper. And that's all I used for my wind detectors. Once you've built your wind detector, I would encourage you to get a fan or to take it outside, or you could even blow on it. But even as you're building it, keep trying it out to see. So I've made two different kinds of wind detectors. I've made this one and I've made this one. And we're going to see and observe which one is better at detecting the wind. And maybe they're both great. We'll see. So I have a fan, and first I'm going to turn it on to low, which would be like a gentle breeze. All right. So let's see if my first wind detector shows me a gentle breeze. Oh yeah, it does. Looks good to me. Let's try this one. Look at that. Does one of these do a better job of detecting the breeze? I don't know. Let's see how they do in a gale, a stronger wind. Woo! It's pretty good. This one, it also detects the stronger wind. I feel like this particular design, though, doesn't really change all that much between a breeze and a gale. So maybe it's not the best for seeing the difference between the two. This design there's a breeze. And there's a gale. I think this design makes it more obvious when the wind has gotten stronger. If I was going to change something, maybe I'd change this part up top because I don't think it really shows me very much. And for this one, if I was going to rebuild it, I might make the banner part longer to see if maybe a breeze would move it less and a gale would actually push it up higher. So look around your house, find some craft supplies, make a wind detector, try it out. Show us what you've made in the comments because we would love to see it. Thank you for joining me for Leap into Science Wind from the Plainfield-Guilford Township Public Library.